This is NHTV2, North Haven Government Television, a service of North Haven Community Television. The following program is brought to you through the support of the Town of North Haven.
Okay, great. Okay, we're in session. Welcome to the November North Haven Board of Police Commissioners meeting. My name is Dave Mons. To my left is Larry Lazaroff, our Vice Chairman. To his immediate left is Robin Wilson, our Secretary. To my right is Mark Calafori, and to his far right is Commissioner Alden Mead. Welcome to everyone. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the October 23rd, 2018 regular and executive session minutes?
So moved.
I have one
Oh, I'm sorry.
comment, just a minor one.
Well, I think we need a second before we discuss.
I'll second that.
All right. Any discussion?
Now,
Yes.
just on the top of the, it says at the next meeting, November 19th, and it's the 20th. I don't know if that makes any difference.
No, that's right.
We're here today, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And I also have a quick comment. I think, and this has to do with both the regular session minutes and the executive session minutes. I think the reference at the end of the executive session minutes to the adjournment from executive session at 8:56 should probably be 8:48, which is when we reconvened into regular session, because the meeting was adjourned at 8:49, so I'm guessing that the 8:56 is wrong, but maybe we can just check that. Any other comments on the minutes? So I think with those two changes, all in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion for approval of the monthly reports for October?
So moved.
Great. The only comment that I had was it just looked like some text was omitted from some of the graphs. And it could just be on my copy, but where we have the year-to-date numbers, the end of the years were cut off. It's pretty easy to correspond that information to the bar graphs, but if Remington could correct that going forward, that'd be great. Any other discussion of the monthly reports? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Robin, correspondence?
Yeah, we have a couple of things. First, we have a thank you letter from a town resident relative to an accident investigation. She wanted to thank Officer Ferrucci and SRO De Palma for identifying the person responsible for hitting her car and leaving the scene. And that is a letter we got. And the other one is a thank you. This is, okay, to the North Haven PD and K-9. Thank you for your kindness and sympathy at a time when it was deeply appreciated. We have a great police department. Thank you for keeping North Haven safe. And that's from our North Haven resident.
That's it? Oh, thanks, Robin. Chairman's report, I'll be brief, and at the end of the report, we will swear in our new officer, Santiago Mario. So just a couple things. Last month, I attended, along with the chief, the Police Retirement Board meeting with Trinity Point, our investment advisor, and they reviewed with us the asset allocation and performance of the retirement plan. I think everybody who attended the meeting was pretty impressed with both the allocation and the performance, so it was a very worthwhile meeting. It's budget time in town, and budget requests go to the finance office the first week in December, and Board of Finance meeting is currently scheduled for February 20th, I believe. A quick shout out to our Department of Public Works. I was in New Haven late last Thursday night in the snow. and came home on back roads, and I drove north on Ridge Road. And going through Hamden, there was probably 4 inches of slush on the road, and the minute we hit the North Haven line at High Lane, it was down to pavement. So kudos to our Public Works friends. And other than wishing everybody here and everybody who may be watching a healthy and happy Thanksgiving, I'd like to call up Santiago Mario for swearing in. Welcome. Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I solemnly swear that
solemnly swear that
I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and allegiance to
and allegiance to
the United States of
the
America
United States of America
and the state of Connecticut,
and the state of Connecticut,
and will support
and will support
the Constitution thereof.
the Constitution thereof.
I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all duties incumbent upon me
all duties incumbent upon me
as a police officer of the town of North Haven.
as a police officer of the town of North Haven,
And I agree to obey and be bound
and I agree to obey and be bound
by such rules and regulations
by such rules and regulations
as are or may be made
as are or may be made
from time to time
from time to time,
established by the Board of Police Commissioners.
established by the Board of Police Commissioners.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That's his bad.
And do you have someone here that you'd like to?
Oh, let's get this out of the way. You can get a little closer. It's not gonna bite. Okay. There you go.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Dad.
Good job.
Hey, congratulations.
Nice.
You've, got the camera for a minute to take
Did you want to just stop for a minute, just to introduce his family?
Yeah, sure. That'd be great.
I'll tell him to shut this down for a second, or?
That's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Have a good night.
We're back at 7-Eleven, and Chief, your report.
Okay, as the chair had said to the residents, and on behalf of the police department, I want to wish everyone as well a happy Thanksgiving. And just a reminder that this next week, right after the holiday, on Friday, we kick off our holiday season with Black Friday. We want everyone to be aware of their surroundings when they're out shopping for the whole Christmas and holiday season. We want you to park in well-lit areas. We want you to secrete or hide any of your purchases. Don't leave them out in the open where it might entice somebody to take something. And for those that are shopping on the internet, we want to remind them as well that, when packages come to your home, don't just leave them out there, because we've already had, and we always do have incidents where people will drive by and take things off people's front porches, front steps. Just take care of your things, and just be mindful that everybody's just not nice. As an added reminder, we ask everybody to continue to lock their car doors at night. Remove your car keys, your key fobs. That's a continual problem in not only our town, but in the region. Other than that, it's only been 3 weeks since our last meeting. I don't have a whole lot other than our budget continues to stay within our expectations. We are slightly under. The budget might initially look fat, but just to remind everybody, we have a third pay period in November, and The quick and dirty numbers on payroll is basically 3.8% every pay period. So if you're looking at a number that says 5%, running 5% in the black, it's probably more like 1.2. So those are probably more accurate numbers for the end of the month. We have, as the chair mentioned, next year's budget schedule. It's got to be submitted next week, and it's gonna look pretty flat. There's not a lot of increase to it. We have our union contract that expires June 30th, so we cannot anticipate any type of monetary increases. So we're probably going to go in with probably less than a 1% increase. We're not looking for a lot of increases on a lot of things. The Walter T. Benary Scholarship, I have no request for consideration this month. Our uniform services and our ISU, we've continued to have isolated vehicle entries in different pockets of town. These cars are unlocked, and we ask everybody to help us help them lock up your belongings. This past week, we did have a bank robbery. We had an arrest immediately. It was something that we want to thank the resident that lives nearby, somebody that alerted us to a car that was suspicious and a person that was suspicious. And the responding units were able to intercept the person in a short pursuit that yielded an arrest and recovery of the proceeds from the bank. So that was it was a good job by all. We've have a slight increase as well in commercial burglaries recently, and those are smash and grab and pry door type. This is something that, again, it's not isolated and limited to North Haven. This is something that's hitting the region. We've been working with our partners in the neighboring towns. They're sharing intel, and hopefully they have suspects identified. It's just a matter of tying people really down to these events. Our support services and traffic, our cruisers, we are all winter ready. All the tires we're ready to go. You'll see in the budget that there was a big expenditure in the tire account, and that was basically for get these cars ready for the snow. Also enclosed in the packets this past month, we had received a letter from a resident that lives over on Pool Road, and they were asking us for some consideration of a four-way stop sign at the intersection of St. John and Pool Road, and citing speeding cars and an accident that occurred in front of their home. What we did was we looked at the accident history for St. John Street and Pool Road, and in the past 18 years we had 13 accidents. So there's not many collisions there. Now this was the second person that had reached out to us. The first person lives next door to where this accident occurred. And I basically told her, and I think I would say the same thing to this person, is this is something that could be probably addressed best with radar enforcement, and we've already started to do that on Pool Road. You don't have Pool Road's it's a collector roadway. It's a lot of traffic on Pool Road, and to have 13 accidents in 18 years at an intersection of like St. John Street and Pool Road, that's not a significant number. Stop signs, again, are not put in place to control speed. They're put in place to regulate traffic flow. So
There was a stop sign though, wasn't there, at the top, at the bottom of St. John and Poole? Isn't there a stop sign?
There's a stop
two,
sign
right?
for,
Two-way.
Right,
it's a two-way stop sign.
right.
This person is suggesting a
The
four-way.
Right.
And
Is there any issue with sightline there? It seems.
I think it would be an added problem if you had stop signs there because of the sight line. Because as you're traveling north through there, there's a bend in the road. So it's not like a true, unobstructed intersection.
Right.
So I think that the best way just to approach this would be the same as I told the other resident. We'll look at it with the radar and control it that way.
I'm comfortable with that.
Me as well, yeah, I mean, I've never had a problem myself. Taking a step back though, a question for you. The car that was totaled a month ago, what's happening with that? The reimbursement from the insurance company or?
Yep, we had a 2017 police cruiser that was hit on Washington Avenue. Initially, it did not appear to be that it was going to be totally damaged, but it was. There was roof line, it was bent. There was some frame damage, and the insurance company is making a settlement with us, and we've used that to purchase a 2016 that is got like 15,000 miles on it. It's even though it's a one model year older, it's got 15,000 miles on it. It's a U.S. government police car that came out of Washington D.C. And we jumped on it.
So the light bars and all the equipment from the other car fit onto this?
Everything should be able to
Perfect.
to fit. Anything that wasn't damaged.
Right.
But these cars that are up at, matter of fact, we used Acme Auto Leasing on Washington Avenue, local person. These cars came with lights and siren in them, so they need just a little bit extra light, lights on them, and other than that, they're ready to go.
Good.
And then our records, professional standards and training, the 2 recruits that we have at the academy are doing well. We have one that's going to be graduating in 2 weeks. So just the week before Christmas, Rich DePalma should be graduating, and then he'll go into a 10-week field training program.
What day is that?
I don't have the date off the top of my head, but it's supposed to be the week before Christmas. And there was talk at one point that they might have a problem securing the venue they normally use, and they suggested even using North Haven High School. So it might be either on a weekend or when the kids are out of school. At the same time, we did receive 2 seats that were at the Milford Police Academy. One that our new officer will go to, and I have a second seat just in case. We're anticipating a resignation of a police officer going to another town. We can talk about that during the executive session under personnel matters. But if that's the case, we have somebody lined up to take that spot as well. As far as our new building is starting to move forward again. There's been an awful lot of interior work that's been completed, but things are really starting to take shape. We are under budget still, which at this point I think it gives us a little bit more confidence, because I guess the talk in the trade is once you're out of the ground, then you're pretty much locked into what's, there's not going to be any more things that we're going to find. There's not going to be any more foundations, oil tanks, or anything like that. Everything that, once we're out of the ground, what we have now is what we we were budgeted for, so we should be in good shape.
I see it's all buttoned up now, so it's
They
nice.
did, they buttoned it up, and we're waiting, and I don't know if they did it today. The deputy thought maybe they were gonna pour a slab on the second floor of the new addition. I didn't see the equipment there, but do you think it was done, or?
Yeah, I saw it there.
It was?
They were going to that.
Okay. So that's good. It gives a couple days, give them probably 5 days for that to set up, and then what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to go in there and start putting up the interior steel, which will give shape to the new addition. So everybody will be able to say, okay, the locker room's over here, the detective bureau's over here. So
Have they made up for lost time that they had? No?
They're not gonna, they're not gonna make up for lost time. They're 8 weeks behind, 7 or 8 weeks behind, and we haven't even got into winter yet.
Right.
So, our confidence of being in there in April and May is more like probably the end of May, beginning of June. End of May, beginning of June. I'll say Memorial Day parade, but we can arm wrestle on that one, because
And we have the space that you're operating out of now, we
Right.
have an extension on.
We do have an extension, and any added cost that is going to be incurred because of that, staying there a little bit longer is being carried by somebody else. It's not the
Okay.
town. It's all gonna be on the contractor. So we're, at this point, it's not costing the town any extra dollars, so that's the important thing.
Good.
And then the other things I have are for the executive session for some personnel matters.
Deputy, anything from you?
No, sir.
Anything from commission members?
One thing I wanted to add, that I noticed in the report that the number of stops has increased dramatically, and I think we've discussed this for a lot of months, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it was a big jump.
Yeah.
And I hope it continues on, especially during the holiday season.
I was going to ask you if you were happy about that.
I think everybody should be happy about that, yes.
Yeah. Right, if there's nothing else, may I have a motion to move to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Movie night.
I could do it. 8 o'clock?
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
None.
Hearing none.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All in favor?
Aye.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Turkey Day, everyone.
The preceding program is brought to you in part through a grant from the town of North Haven. Watch town meetings or other videos on demand at nhtv.com.